Sally Field is known as the runaway bride from Smokey and the Bandit, who falls in love with Burt Reynolds' character, Bandit. But did you know that in real life, her romance with Burt Reynolds was actually a disaster? Stay tuned while we find out many such untold stories of her life while looking at some of her rarest photos. Sally watched her parents struggle as a little child. They separated when she was 5 years old. Sally's mother would remarry a few years later to Jock Mahoney, an actor and a stuntman. Sally revealed in her 2018 memoir, In Pieces, that her stepfather Jock abused her when she was young. She spoke about how her mother and stepfather were often unemployed during their childhood, as actors during those days didn't get paid as much. Her first foray into acting was as a student in junior high. She also found a talent on the field, becoming a cheerleader for her high school. At this stage in her life, she had a bit of a sexual awakening. Right after graduating, she found out that she was pregnant. In the 1960s, abortion was illegal in the USA, so Sally and her mother went to Tijuana in Mexico, where an abortion procedure took place. Sally Field later recalled that this experience was traumatic, and that she remembers waking up to the anesthesiologist groping her breasts. Sally Field kept moving on with her life, and after high school, she enrolled in a summer acting workshop at Columbia Studios. There, a casting agent invited her to audition for a new TV series called Gigit. This was Sally Field's big break, and she shone as the moralistic yet goofy and bubbly teenage surfer. Sally Field found immediate popularity in this role, but it also contributed to a major problem in her early career. Casting agents and directors started seeing her as a frivolous, fun-loving teenager, making it difficult for them to see her in serious roles. Did she manage to get out of this typecast view of her acting skills? Well, not at first. Despite reservations about portraying a nun due to her family's Catholic background, Sally took on the sitcom The Flying Nun. At the age of 19, she wanted to explore her sexuality through these roles, but that wasn't possible with the role of this nun that the producers were offering her. But her stepfather stepped in with his manipulative nature and told her that if she said no to this, she may never get work in Hollywood again. She later admitted she allowed fear to make the decision for her to appear in the show, and within the 3 years that it had aired, it had become a joke. After this, she appeared in TV films and dramas, but struggled to shed her image of the girl next door. At this stage, a mentor figure appeared in her life, with the help of whom Sally Field finally rediscovered herself as a more serious actress. Lee Strasberg was an American director, writer, and acting coach. At Actors Studio, an actors organization in New York City, Sally Field worked with Lee Strasberg, and with his help, she became more than her image of a girl next door. In 1976, she took on the role of a young woman with dissociative identity disorder, or DID, in the television film Sybil. Her portrayal of this character earned her an Emmy Award, and she didn't have to look back again during her acting career after that. What about her personal life then? Well, after the struggles of her early childhood, she finally settled down with Steve Craig, her high school sweetheart. They got married in 1968 in Las Vegas, when both were in their early 20s. Sally Field had 2 children with Steve Craig, Peter in 1969 and Eli in 1972. Despite their long history and 2 children, the marriage didn't go to plan as they ended up going their separate ways in 1975. However, the biggest moment of Sally Field's career up until then was just around the corner. In 1977, Sally Field starred alongside Burt Reynolds and Jackie Gleason in Smokey and the Bandit. It was an action comedy film where Sally Field played the role of a runaway bride. The movie was a hit, grossing the second highest amount of money that year. On a personal note, Sally Field met a certain Burt Reynolds on the set of Smokey and the Bandit and dated for 5 years after it. So how did this celebrity pairing work out in the long term? They were media darlings, and Sally Field felt that within 3 or 4 days of knowing each other, it was instantaneous, and 4 days felt like 4 years. Despite saying that they were deeply entangled, Sally Field did not have a positive view of this relationship later in life. She thought Burt Reynolds was controlling, and he used his stardom to control everyone in his life, including her. After a life of deep struggles, Sally Field was skeptical of love, and the controlling nature of this relationship took a toll on her. What happened is that I stopped existing, I dressed for him. I looked for him, walked for him. He asked me to marry him many times, but I knew his heart wasn't in it," she said. "We'd have ended up just feeling terrible." Even though Burt Reynolds in later years said that Sally Field was the love of his life, and Sally Field said of their relationship that Sally told Closer Weekly that he gave me a feeling that I was sexy and I wanted to be everything he ever wanted. They had parted ways within 5 years. But what about Sally Field's career? How was she doing in that regard? Sally Field as an actress was going from strength to strength during this time. Her role in Norma Ray in 1979 not only won her an Academy Award, but solidified her status as a top dramatic actress. She kept stepping into her image as she portrayed a foul-mouthed prostitute in the movie Black Roads. Sally Field's reputation as a serious actress was taken to a place beyond debate when in 1984 she won a second Academy Award for the movie Places in the Heart. Sally Field's acceptance speech in that year's Oscar Awards was etched into everyone's memory when she said, "You like me right now, you like me." This was regarded as a reflection of her need for affection and validation, but this can also be interpreted as a reference to a dialogue of hers from the movie Norma Ray. Sally Field had made audiences laugh, smile, and cry till this point in her career, starring in sitcoms, dramas, thrillers, and thriving in all forms of media. In 1985, her girl next door image was left in the dust once and for all when she appeared in Playboy magazine. She was on the cover of the magazine in a classic bunny outfit, and her sexy side shone through. Turned on her side, peering back over her shoulder at the camera, Sally Field was finally everything she wanted to be when she first realized she was being typecast as an innocent teenager early on in her career. Although she was criticized for this appearance on Playboy, Sally Field maintained that she did this because she wanted to, and that for her, this was empowering. Sally Field got married for a second time in 1984 to Alan Griezmann, a film producer, and this marriage only lasted just under 10 years. They had a child together, but by the end of their marriage, they grew apart to become two very different people. Sally Field said that he wanted to go out, to be with people or go to parties, she told the magazine. "I couldn't take it. I'd have an anxiety attack." They split apart in 1994. Now a Hollywood legend, the latter part of Sally Field's career included some notable appearances. Mrs. Doubtfire in 1993 was one such movie, where she played the wife of Robin Williams' character and the love interest of Pierce Brosnan's character. The year afterwards, she appeared in the Oscar-winning Forrest Gump. Although she was only 10 years older than Tom Hanks, she played the role of his mother. Many younger viewers remember her as the gray-haired maternal figure from Forrest Gump, and she put in an excellent performance. Sally Field won an Emmy Award for her recurring appearances in the hit TV series ER in 2000 to 2001. She continued reprising this role during various times in 2003 and 2006. She won yet another Emmy Award in 2007 for her role in the TV series Brothers and Sisters. In 2012, Sally Field portrayed the popular character of Aunt May in The Amazing Spider-Man. She took her legendary status as an actress further with her portrayal of Mary Todd Lincoln in Steven Spielberg's biography on the great American president, Abraham Lincoln. Even though she is a legendary Hollywood actor, Sally Field regards her 3 children from her 2 failed marriages as the 3 things she's most proud of. All 3 of her children, Peter, Eli, and Samuel, have their own careers as writers and producers. So what is Sally Field up to in her old age? Well, she is still out and about as a philanthropist and activist. She champions causes like early diagnosis of bone diseases and is an active women's and gay rights activist. Her son Samuel is gay, and Sally Field once said, "It's important to have a parent speak about raising a magnificent, proud, intelligent, funny, lovable, sexy gay son." If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other videos of beautiful actresses from the yesteryears on the end screen.